I wanted to talk about temptation today. We all face temptation, and what tempts each of us is different. One person may be tempted to drink too much, another may be tempted to greed or dishonesty. Still another person might be tempted to be critical or to gossip or to have an unloving attitude. And one of the great lies of temptation that we can fall into is this idea that we just can't overcome our temptations. Because when an addiction or a bad habit or a pattern really settles itself into our lives, that's how it can feel. It can feel like we just can't beat it. But one of the core messages of our faith is that people can change. Sometimes the world tells us that's not true, but we know that it is. We know that God will help us and give us the power to do that, to change, and that that's true even when it comes to temptation. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says this. It says, "No temptation has overtaken you except that which is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear, but when you are tempted, he will also give you a way out so that you can endure it." So the Apostle Paul wrote this verse, and he begins by reminding us that the temptations we face are common. And that's important for us to remember because, like I said, when an addiction or a bad habit or a pattern really settles into our lives, I think it's easy for us to feel isolated as though we're the only person who's ever dealt with that problem and that it just can't be beaten, can't be overcome. But Paul is reminding us that that's not true, that other people have faced and are facing the things that we're dealing with, and other people have been able to deal with these things and to overcome them too. Paul also says here that God is faithful, that he won't let us be tempted beyond what we can bear. And again, that means that we can do it. That means in any moment of temptation that God is, in fact, with us and will help us and empower us if we look to him to do that. Further, Paul says that we can trust that God will be with us when we are in the throes of temptation and will provide a way out or a way for us to endure it. Now, sometimes that way out is to flee, to just get away from the thing that is a temptation for us. But I believe that in time, God by faith will be at work in us more and more if we bring that temptation to him, giving us strength to resist and eventually to overcome it, even when we encounter it face to face. We also need to remember that when we fail, because we are going to fail some of the time, that we have a God of grace, a God who forgives and gives us a fresh start, and also gives us a fresh start with the real and powerful hope that we can do better next time. And we should remember that Jesus himself was tempted. He was tempted by Satan for 3 days in the wilderness, and he did not fall to that temptation. He overcame temptation, and Jesus will be with us, helping us to do the same if we rely on him by faith. So may we seek to avoid temptation when we can. May we seek to flee from it when we come face to face with it and we are tempted. And may we rely more and more on God to strengthen us so that we can resist and in the end overcome our temptations.